So we will start in 5 minutes. Let the people join the meeting.
What sort of things you need to do. Okay, so I'm presenting my screen. Maybe whoever is the host of this meeting, just give me the access. Okay, so that I can share my content.
Oh,
I don't have any
okay,
slides, I don't
okay.
have any PPTs. I will just write and then okay. Yeah. So the PhD application consists of multiple parts. It's not just a single document that you need to submit and then you will get your admit depending upon that particular documents. So there are multiple set of documents, your resume, your transcripts, and many other things apart from your statement of purpose, personal statement, and these are the documents you need to work on. Okay, so what's the major criteria, what they look for in your application, so that you can much more glaze your application so that it might be more pleasing towards the the admission committee. Okay, so that would be helpful. So first of all, let me just present my screen.
You can share your screen. It is allowed.
I'm sorry for the delay. Okay. So, how many of you have heard of the examination of GRE and TOEFL? Maybe
Should we raise our hands? Or
you can answer.
yes,
Yeah, GRE and TOEFL, right? Okay.
yes.
Okay. So, GRE and TOEFL, these are the two preliminary exams that you need to give in order to satisfy the requirements the most of the universities have to for their PhD applicants. Okay. But there is a crisp into it. TOEFL is necessary. TOEFL is the full form stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language, which you are in a compulsion to give it. Okay, so it's compulsory. GRE after the COVID, GRE has not been compulsory by the university. It is optional. In some universities, it has been ruled out of the application process. So maybe you are saving some money out of it, and some of the practices or some of your efforts are being saved just by you are not giving the GRE examination. But let me more clarify onto this particular thought. It's not like the GRE is not required at all. Wait a minute. Can you please allow sharing for all? Uh, I have joined from two devices, so it would be difficult for you to make.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Harshit, I made you co-host on both the devices.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So is screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So let me begin. So this is not a very clean way of presenting, but I guess this is the most efficient way. So the application process starts by giving the GRE examination and the TOEFL examination. Okay, these you need to give. Okay, so now what happens is after the COVID, this GRE is made optional. Okay, by most of the universities, I guess top 20, top 25 universities do not require GRE at all. But you need to check. I guess this is the practice. You need to check for all. However, you have to check for all the universities whether they are considering GRE scores or not. If it is optional, if it is optional, let's suppose you are applying into 8 universities, right? And out of 8, 7 in 7 it is not required. It is written as not required and will not be considered. Not required and not considered. Okay. If this set of line is written not required and will not be considered, then you don't need to worry about your GRE scores. Okay, you can directly skip the GRE. If it is written as optional, right? So Now in optional, there is a twist. So what happens is, if your CPI is low, okay, then GRE helps you up to certain extent to cover up your CPI. Okay, so if your CPI is low, then you can opt for giving GRE, right? If your CPI is high, I guess the probable guess number would be is greater than 9.0. Okay, then I guess giving GRE or not is, I guess, it's invaluable. It's not compulsory. I will suggest not to give the GRE because it is expensive. The form is $140, and then sending scores will cost you around $80. So it's much more expensive. But if your CPI is low, and in the universities that you are filling your application, you are filing your application, the GRE statement is written as it is optional or it is required, right? Then if your CPI is low, I suggest you to give GRE. If your CPI is high, then even if it is written as optional or not required, don't give the GRE. But first of all, you need to check what is the scenario of GRE for fall 22, fall 23, and fall 24 cycle. So this is all about GRE. Now, where you can practice if you are supposed to go ahead for the GRE, I will suggest there is an app, Magoosh. Okay. So GRE consists of several parts. Major part is there is a quantitative section which consists of 170 marks, and there is a vocab section which is 170 marks. Okay. This vocab section consists of reading comprehensions and mostly vocabulary. Okay. Reading comprehension you can practice from any source. Okay, I will share you. I guess I have already shared the convenience, the sources for PhD. There you can find the good number of questions for reading comprehension that you can practice. For the vocabulary part, there is an app, Magoosh. Magoosh vocabulary cards. There's an app called Magoosh vocabulary cards. You can install that app in a mobile. It has flashcards, right? So each day you can practice around 40, 50 words. Okay, and then you can revise, you can make an Excel. So this is the way you can approach your GRE. Okay, so the total marks for GRE is 340. The best score, or what you can say the safe side is score, sorry, the best or the safe side is score more than 320. This is the best side. And if your GRE score is greater than 330, I guess even if your CPI is 8, that is a big boost to your profile. Okay. So if it is optional or if it is not required, if your CPI is low, I would recommend you to give the GRE. If your CPI is high, greater than 9, I will recommend you to not to give the GRE, not to waste your time, not to waste your financial resources that you can spend on other useful things. Okay. So this is all about GRE. What consists of GRE is quantitative and vocabulary part. Vocabulary part is split into reading comprehensions, vocabulary, and there is also a section of writing, but that is not counted in your score. Okay, so the target would be achieve more than 320. Okay. Now it has now coming on to TOEFL. Okay, so these are so this is the first step to the preparation. Okay, now TOEFL is a very easy exam. Even if you practice for 1 week the TOEFL material, then I guess you will be able to score a lot better in this, right? TOEFL has 4 sections: speaking, writing, listening, and reading. Each section is of 30 marks, making TOEFL 120 marks exam. It is an online exam. Speaking there are 5 questions you have to speak. There will be a certain text given to you and you have to speak on that. Okay, there will be a microphone and you have to speak. Note your fluency, note you don't goofed up, and these are the points while you can just read out on any TOEFL resource. Writing, there are 2 questions. It is very simple. There's a format. Just route the format and then you will excel that particular section. Listening, there will be 5 to 6 listening paragraphs. You will be made to hear some listening conversations between a student or a student and an administrative body. And then you need to answer what they discussed. Okay, there would be objective questions. Reading, again, these are reading comprehensions. 3 reading comprehensions will be there. Each section is of 30 marks. Now the safe side is score more than 100. Even if you score 120 on TOEFL and a guy who has scored 104 out of TOEFL, or a guy who has scored 100 out of TOEFL, all three are same. Scoring 120 on TOEFL or scoring 110 on TOEFL doesn't give you any advantage on your PhD application. It is just a threshold. You need to cross that 100 mark. Even universities generally say you need to bring more than 90, but being on a safe side, go ahead for greater than 100. Okay. So this is TOEFL. TOEFL is very easy. 1 week of preparation is enough. GRE mein, what I suggest is 1 to 2 months of preparation is enough. Okay. Some guys used to give TOEFL without preparation because they prepare for GRE and then they give TOEFL just after they have given the GRE. Okay. So this is what it is. Now this is the first step. Now I'm taking you to the timelines of the application process. Okay. Generally the deadlines are in December. Okay. December 2020x. Okay. Generally the deadlines of applications are in December. The best way is to start your GRE and TOEFL preparation maybe in June or July, which is this time of the year 2020x. This time you need to start your GRE and TOEFL prep. Okay. This is the time you need to start your GRE and TOEFL prep. Now, when you need to give the GRE and TOEFL? So June and July. So this would be in August. August 2020x. You just give your GRE. Okay. And then your GRE and TOEFL will be over. Why August? Why I am not delaying this? Because if somehow just of bad luck you score less in GRE or score less in TOEFL, you have a month. You have September, you have November to reappear for that exam. Okay. But reappearing for that exam will cost you this much. So prepare well. Okay. Now coming on to after this part comes your main application. Okay. So what's the first objective is? First objective is university shortlisting. University shortlisting. This is the most important part of your application process. Which university you have to aim for depending upon your caliber. That is most important factor in your application. Okay. So how you need to do this? First of all, you can judge the university based on rankings. Okay. You can judge the university based on the research in chemi. Okay. How is the research in chemi? Okay. Maybe the overall rankings in chemi. Okay. This is very specific in chemical engineering ranking. Harvard is a top university, but Harvard doesn't have a chemical engineering department, right? So you need to list your university in terms of ranking in chemical engineering. Then what is the research index of that particular university in chemical engineering? And then in which research you are interested, the professors that are working. Now, how to judge the professors? So who are you to judge the professors, right? But no, you need to judge the professors. So there are several parameters. There is H index. Okay. You can search it up on Google what H index is. Maybe a H index of greater than 30. Maybe you can find someone at 90. And H index of greater than 100 is like a god in research. Okay. There is also a graph of H index with time. So I am giving you, suppose a professor who is doing research, and for that particular professor, the H index graph with time is increasing like this. So his research outcome is increasing day by day, year by year. But there is a professor who is very old. And for that professor, the graph was like this up to a certain point, and now it is declining, right? So now if you are jumping to that particular professor's lab at this particular point, so I guess you are in a dead zone. Maybe the research outcome is not that particular high. The professor is not at all interested in his research. He's packing up his things. Maybe he is planning to retire. So these all are factors you need to consider up while deciding your professors. Okay. So rankings in chemi, research in chemical engineering, and now where research interest, what research interest you are hoping for, and in that particular research interest, which professors are working, and now which professor you need to aim for that depends on you. If you want to work with a professor who is a very old man, then it depends upon you. But if you want to work with a professor who is in this particular zone, then you need to work. Then you need to decide. Some can want to work with this particular zone, because there are some guys who wants to do independent research in PhD. They don't want to get interfered by their advisors. So I guess working in this particular zone is better, right? Because the professor has a very good past history. Even if at that point the H index of that professor will be 90, but though the number of citations per year is decreasing day by day, okay, but the professor is outstanding, though his research outcome is decreasing. Okay, so depending upon the student, how you wanna do your PhD, do you want your advisor uh, to get very much more deep rooted to your program, to your PhD? Okay, so that decision is on you. How you want your PhD to be, how you want your advisor to be. Okay, so there might be some professors who have just started their career after their PhD and they are in this particular zone. They're in the constant zone, but they have graduated from very top colleges like MIT, Stanford, maybe Princeton or Caltech, UCB. Then you need to decide whether you need to work for that particular young professor who will be hiring multiple PhD students, and now his main objective will to publish the papers as maximum as possible. He doesn't care about the citation. He just want to publish as maximum papers as possible, as maximum research journals as possible. Okay, because then only his graph will increase. So it depends upon the individual to individual. So that is a very subjective question, which professor you need to take. So that depends upon you. So on these basis, you need to shortlist your university. So there are 100 university available. If you open the QS ranking, then you will be confused. Even I was confused which universities you need to pick and how many you need to pick. So which university and why that university, the answer is in this particular section. And how many. So this is a very simple funda that I have got from my professors. So generally student apply for 8 to 10 universities, right? Now the breakup of 8 to 10 is 2 universities which you aim for, which are out of your league. Okay, out of your league, like a student with a CPI of 9.4 or 9.5 aiming for MIT, Stanford, right? So then MIT, Stanford will fall in these two category, right? With no research experience, but just on the basis of this CPI, he's aiming for the MIT, Stanford. Then this two will be like the dream university. Okay, what is the dream university? I guess out of your league would be a very incorrect word, but it would be a dream university for you. Okay, then apply into 3 to 4 universities which you think that are moderate. Moderate means you have around 70% chances of getting admitted. Okay, 70 maybe 60%. Okay, यहाँ पे you have a chances of around 25%, even or less than 25%. Okay, then select 3 universities which are easy to moderate. Your chances are around 80%. Okay, so now 3, 3, 6 to 8. Now select 1 university or 2 university. Maybe you can keep this number as low, which you have a chances of more than 90%. Okay, so follow this metric, and depending upon how much money you have, because each university application costs you around $100 roughly. So this particular thing puts an bound on the number of applications, else so you can submit how many applications you want, right? So the general idea is 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, but this is important. Make at least one university which is very safe. You are damn sure that I will get a certain admit from that. Okay, but do not downgrade yourself. So this is also a point. Do not downgrade yourself. Suppose a student which has a CPI of 9.5 and now he applies into Purdue, right? Purdue will certainly take this guy. Okay, it will certainly take this guy 9.5. So don't apply for Purdue. Okay, just aim higher. You need to take risks, right? So maybe you can apply for UT Austin, or so that depends upon you. What are the rankings, and that depends upon you. Okay, so this is university shortlisting. Okay, now coming back to timelines, when you have to shortlist the universities, when you are preparing for GRE and TOEFL, you need to shortlist your universities as well. Okay, and believe me, university shortlisting will your university shortlist, the final university list will get prepared by maybe October. It is very difficult task, because you will be very confused in which universities you need to apply and which universities you need to skip. the money will be constrained. Yeah, and your caliber will be also the point. You will be thinking like, now this university I can get into, this university I cannot get into, this university has this professor, this university has this professor, but his this ranking is low, this ranking is high. So believe me, till October your university shortlist will not be final. So this is a long process. Shortlisting university is a long process. You need to reach out to multiple professors via Gmail, via mailing them, via mailing them and asking whether they have a PhD opening. Let's suppose you are confused in two universities, university A and university B. For your research interest in university A, there are two professors, Professor X and Professor Y. In B, there are two professors, Professor Alpha, Professor Beta, right? Now you mailed all these four professors expressing your interest and whether the PhD positions are available for that particular cycle. Now this X is retiring. He said, no, I'm retiring. I won't take any PhD students. This Y said, yeah, I can take maximum one. This is my maximum. Okay. Now in university B, this professor work is also good. Now he's saying, no, I will take 2 to 3 PhD students. This is saying, yeah, I will also take 2 to 3 students. So which university is better? If we say this university's ranking is 10th and this university's ranking is 13th, I guess most of you will go for this option.
Right.
Option number B, right? Because this 10th and 13th doesn't matter at all. Even in PhD, the most important thing is not the ranking of the university. It is about the advisor. It is about the advisor. It is not about the university. It is about the advisor, his research interest, his personal behavior, how lab group environment is. All these things depends upon how your advisor is. Okay. Okay. So if your advisor is good, your PhD is good, your life is good. If your advisor is bad, then the rest, what will happen. Okay. Maybe I guess in undergrad that after doing multiple courses. So doing a course for 5 years with a bad advisor, I guess it would be a calamity. Okay. Now university shortlisting done, GRE TOEFL done. Okay. Now what happened? What comes up to next is your statement of purpose. Okay. Maybe I'm going too slow. I need to fast things up. Statement of purpose. Okay. This is the important document of your application. Okay, so let me just present one thing. Yeah. Okay, so I will share this document. I made this during my time. Okay, so what is a statement of purpose? A statement of purpose is describing your intent of why are you going for a PhD and why are you choosing that university. Okay, so the meaning of statement of purpose is expressing your intent of why are you choosing that university, why are you aiming for PhD, why are you going for higher studies, what you did in your past. Okay, and so this is what a statement of purpose is, what your purpose is. Okay, so these are some these are some things you need to make your SOP good looking. Okay, because there will be hundreds of SOP, right? So you need to stand apart from that particular crowd. So now these are normal fundas. Your SOP must be engaging. Okay, the audience must engage. Like it must be interactive. Like the one who is reading must get engaged to it, right? You are expressing yourself through that particular document. Okay, because there is no interview in PhD application. Do not elongate, right? Students used to write SOPs of about 3 pages, 4 pages. They don't read. They just skim the SOP, right? Using very high vocabulary will not help you. Just use very easy words so that you can easily express yourself. Okay. Don't elongate. Give examples. Give examples about what research you did. Okay. What you learned. Okay. What were the hurdles while you research and how you overcome them. Okay, so these are the 3 things, and then customize SOP. After this is when your SOP is done, you have written all the things, then the major part comes the editing of the SOP. Writing the SOP is not a big deal. The big deal is verifying verifying the SOP again and again, sending out to seniors, finding out the mistakes, and then correcting it again and again. And this is a recursive process, and this is a never-ending process. Believe me, this is a never-ending process. While you will be submitting your SOP in that application portal, you will not be sure that my SOP is good or not. Okay, so it is a never-ending process. At one time, you need to stop. No, this is what it is, and now I am uploading it. Okay, this document I share. Okay, now it has everything to answer what are the important questions you need to answer, why you selected that particular university and professors, what is your background, skills, experiences, which value. Okay, where do you see yourself after completion of your program? That is a very important question, because university do look out what are your future plans. Okay, and then how will this program will help you? Why not MIT? Why not Stanford? Why this particular program? Okay, so this is these are the important questions to answer. But what is the flow of answering these questions is written there. Flow of the SOP. Okay, so this is taken from the site of UC Berkeley. There they have mentioned how you need to write your SOP. So this is simple. Introduce yourself, your research interest, your motivation. Summarize your undergraduate career. Okay, what research you did, with whom, what was the project, what was the responsibility, outcomes, any papers you published. Okay, and any scholarly achievements in that particular project or during your undergraduate career. Everything that you did in your undergraduate career will be the middle part of your SOP. The starting part will be your introduction, your research interest, and your motivation of the PhD program. Now the last part is why choosing this university. Okay, then you just indicate this particular area of interest is very good in this particular university. You want to work with these professors. Indicate the professors you want to work with, why the university is outstanding, why the university is stand apart for the rest of the university, right? Self motivation, competence, potential as a graduate student, active voice, positive perspective, demonstrate everything by example to show your abilities. Don't state them directly. Okay, I am a quick learner. Don't write this in your SOP. Just give an example uh, how things went for you and how you learned them quickly. Okay, so that would be much better than just writing I am a quick learner or I'm a hard worker. Okay. Now there are rules. Maximum 2 page. I recommend 1.5 page, and what I recommend is maximum 1250 words. Maximum 1250 words. Try to go 1000 words. ये तो मैं भी follow नहीं करता.
बंदा लिख लिख के बता रहा है.
ये बंदा लिख लिख के बता रहा है. वो चीज है. Single space 11 size font. These are very simple things. I will share this document. Okay. Now this is the screenshot from the site final checklist. Okay, you can just skim through this particular section. I'll share this, and then you can just frame your SOP. SOP is an important part. Do not let any carelessness on your SOP, because it is an important part of your application. Okay. Now, if you want to see through a flow chart how your structure of your SOP is, now what is introduction, why you choose chemical engineering, what is your personal background, academic performance, and research interest. Previous work experience 2.0, university specific questions you need to answer in an SOP, and then the conclusion. What are your plans after PhD? What are your long-term goals, and how you will serve the community? This community word is very important. US में community बहुत चलता है. So please try to focus on that. Focus on this particular word. How are you gonna focus on your community? How are you going to help the community, the world community, the social community, the community of India, the people of India? So this is very important. Okay. So this is what SOP is. I guess you will get more information by reading this document and by seeing multiple SOPs. I have also shared the multiple SOP documents, sample SOPs. Even my SOP is also there with Camille. They will share with you. Next is your CV. CV means resume. CV must be of 2 pages. I guess CV का भी rules होंगे कहीं पे. CV. This is my CV. Okay. Yeah. So CV is simple. I guess CV you can make it. What I recommend you is. CV, what I recommend is you is there is one site overleaf. Okay, make your CV from that. Okay, 2 pages maximum, and the rest is very simple. You can take any CV of past seniors, and then you can just replicate your work depending upon that format. Okay, even you can take their overleaf sample, and then just you can type your information and your CV is ready. Just figure out 2 pages is maximum, and then that's it. No greater than 2 pages. 2 pages is enough. CV is very simple. It is what it is, what you had. You cannot extrapolate anything. SOP done, CV done, then your transcript, which you can't do anything about. Transcript you cannot do anything about. What it is, it is. You cannot change. Then you need to have your transcripts, which you will get from IIT, and then that's it. This is the application. These you need to submit: your SOP, your CV, your transcripts, your GRE and TOEFL scores, and I guess anything I'm missing out, but that's it. And this is what your will make your applications complete. This is what is required for a PhD application. Now, coming on to what are the most important factors. Try to make your SOP interesting. Okay, SOP is the most important thing. Now, this is a fact. In higher studies, CPI is important thing. Even if your SOP is not good looking, if your CPI is high, you have the chances. You have a fair chances. This is a harsh truth, but yes, CPI matters in higher studies as well. In higher studies, so yeah, CPI matters. But even if you have a low CPI, a good GRE score, a decent CPI, a good SOP, a good intent of going up for a PhD program will certainly help you. It won't be like if you have a low CPI, you won't be eligible for higher studies. It isn't the case. Even I have seen guys with a CPI of 7.1 going to University of Houston and University of Texas. So it isn't like if you have a CPI less, if you have a less CPI, then these doors are closed for you. No, it isn't the case. Greater the CPI, higher the chances. But yes, even I have seen certain having a CPI of 9.4, 9.3 not getting admits just because they were careless with their applications. SOP, CV, they goofed up. SOP were not good, were not up to the mark. CV were not good, were not up to the mark. So it's a seesaw. You need to balance. Okay, you need to balance your application. That's it. And I guess it's valid in everything, every sort of life you go. So CV, SOP, CV, you need to make a good, decent CV. I can show you. I can show my CV if you are interested. So this is the general CV format for PhD applicants. Okay. And I will recommend at least for all of you guys to follow this particular format only, because this I have taken from one of my seniors, Ramanish Singh. He's in University of Minnesota. I need to mention his name. Okay. So this format is taken from him. So what I did, I took that particular format, I took that overleaf section, and I edited mine. And what I am recommending you the same. Okay. Don't try to do extra efforts if you can get something on your plate. Okay. Just don't copy. Just don't copy anything, right? Just don't do plagiarism. Okay. Then if they find that you have copied some text of a SOP from your seniors, then I guess your application will be rejected on that particular moment of time. Okay. So just don't cheat, because if you are going to cheat, you are cheating on yourself only. No one else. So the CV format is very simple. First, education, research interest, publication. If you have any honors awards, research experiences, then any experiences or anything that you have, you can write on in your CV. Okay. So CV format is very simple. Just make your CV interesting, not very crowded. Though mine is very crowded, messy. But if you are able to make it very not very sparse, but yes, pleasing, that would be helpful. Okay. Just don't surpass the CV with more than 2 pages. Okay. That is the deadline. That is the hard line. That is the hard thing that I'm saying. Okay. And mention everything very clearly. And what I am saying is, ये जितना भी लिखा हुआ है ना, ये कोई पढ़ता नहीं है. ठीक है. सब यही पढ़ते हैं. What it is written in bold. Okay. So try to make these lines much more expressing of what you did in the project. Okay. Because they don't have that much time to read all these things. Once you are admitted, your application will be sent out to multiple professors. This guy is admitted into that university. Then those professors can read your CV. But during the time of your application, no one reads this. I guess maybe one first line or second line, they are okay with it. Okay. So and try to make bullets. I guess ये तो even हमारे SPO वाले भी यही बताते हैं. So that not this is not a big deal. Okay. Yeah. Now coming on to the deadlines. Yes. So deadlines are important. Okay. Complete your SOP by October. Okay. By mid of October. And finalize your SOP by November start. November start पे आप अपना SOP final कर दो. After reviewing by seniors and all correction, you just finalize your SOP in the starting of the November. Okay. You finalize your CV in this October. Okay, or maybe in September. Okay. But try to finish all the applications by what I will suggest is 10th of November. Okay. Everything must be finalized by 10th of November. This is the hard line. Okay. 10th of November tak you have to finalize everything because deadlines are 31st of December. Says no, sorry. I guess 30th of November से deadlines start होती हैं universities की. Maybe Stanford का 20th of November होता है. For MIT it is 16th of November. So the hard line is finish everything by 10th of November. Okay. The major time will be consumed in while making your CV. I guess it will take about 2 to 3 weeks. SOP may you will consume around 4 to 7 weeks. It would be a 2-month task. And GRE, I don't think most of you will not give the GRE. Okay. TOEFL, it will take a week. Maximum, I'm saying maximum week. Okay. Even if you don't prep for GRE, you take a week for preparation for a TOEFL. Even if you prep for, I know a guy who didn't give the GRE. He studied for the TOEFL for about 3 hours. He scored 112 out of 120. So TOEFL is very easy. Okay. So TOEFL is it's just a cake. You just go and eat that in the exam hall. Okay. But just don't panic. Okay. So this is what it is. I guess now it is time. This is what application process is. I guess you must be familiar with deadlines. University shortlisting is a very major deal. SOP, making of the SOP is a very major deal. CV, though it's not a very big deal, but yes, you can make your CV with much more precision and accuracy. And rest, I guess, is simple. Okay. I'll share all the documents with the communities. You can approach them or maybe they can share with you. I'm open to questions now. Yeah.
Could you expand more about the deadlines as well?
What deadlines?
Like application deadlines. So it's like
Application deadlines are spread out in December. Some of the universities have deadline from 1st of December, some have 15th of December, some have 1st of January. Georgia Tech has a deadline of 15th of January, but it is better to submit your application early. Some have deadlines, floating deadlines. It is like first come first serve. So it is better to submit all your applications by 5th of December. Okay. Oh, sorry, I missed the LOR part. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So letter of recommendation, that is the most important part. Okay. Just take LORs from the professors that you have did a project. Okay. Getting an A from a professor in a particular class and going to him to give you a LOR for a PhD, I guess is not a good option. What he will write about you? You got an A. Out of 120 students, 20 people have got A. What is unique about you? So getting an A in a course and going to that particular professor to give you an LOR for a PhD application is not a good idea. It will lower your reputation of the application. That I will say. The professors that we have worked with, the professors that we have worked outside of academia, maybe community services and all, they can give you an LOR, and I guess that LOR works well. It is not recommended. It is not compulsory. You have an academia LOR, right? A professor that knows you and the professor who has worked with you in any community services and all can give you an LOR. Okay. The professors that had, if there is a professor with whom you have did 3 courses or 2 to 3 courses and you got an A star or an A, then I guess then that is a good option. You can approach him because you spend around a year or year and a half working or learning under that particular professor. That professor knows you. he can write about you. Okay. So if I rank the LORs, the first ranking would be the professor that you did a project. Second, a professor with whom you completed 2 to 3 courses. Then comes the professor with whom you did the community services and all. And at the last comes the professor with whom you got an A. And I guess just don't take an LOR from a professor with whom you got an A. If that is an A star, then that is a different case. But if it is an A, 20% of the class gets an A. It's not a big deal. Yeah. And being honest, being seen the application process of not me, mine, but my friends, the most important factor of the application process is none other than your letter of recommendations. Letter of recommendations, your CPI, your research experiences, and then that's it. The statement of purpose and all is a formality. Even they don't read it, but yet you need to make it impressive. You need to make it appealing. You need to make it engaging, because you cannot miss out on any of the part of the application. So yes, you need to spend 2 months on an SOP, even if it is not an important document. But you can reach out to multiple seniors. They have a multiple varied opinion about SOP. SOP is the most important, but according to me, what I have seen, they don't read their SOPs. They don't have that time to read the SOPs. But still, you need to make that particular SOP a good one. Okay, you cannot be careless. The major factor is your CPI, your research experiences, any papers you published, and the letter of recommendations. Yeah, that's it. Any other questions?
Um, do they check the H index of the professors who gave LOR? Or
No. They know in India. Okay, leave it. Yeah. Next.
So how do they judge the professors who have given LORs then? Nothing, just the content matters.
Yeah, the content matters. The seal of the professor who is giving the LOR matters, right? Because they know this particular mail of LOR has come from a faculty. Okay, so they rely on that. Yeah, some of the LORs given by reputed professors which are famous in US, like Ashutosh Sharma of Chemical Engineering Department. He is no more in chemical engineering, but yet he is very famous. If you get an LOR from him, I guess that is a very plus point. If you get an LOR from Gautam Dev, that is a very plus point. If you get an LOR from Yogesh Joshi, that is a very plus point. You get an LOR from Nitin Kaista, that is a good, that is a plus point. But if you get an LOR from, let's say, any professor who has just joined the department after completing his higher studies, he is not known in the outside world. His papers, his publications are not known. So that won't be a plus point if we are talking about this particular criteria. Yeah, next.
Harshit, you took a break between your graduation and applying for PhD. So does it affect or
What break?
means you did 1 year job?
Yeah, I guess that was a good decision. You saw, na? What's the fee for a GRE? It's $140.
Yes.
So it is
Yeah.
better to be financially independent and then apply for your applications.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So and it's not all about money, it's about professionalism. Going for a job for a year or even for 8 months will get you some professional skills to work in an environment with the people that you are not aware of. Okay. So that particular skill also matters. And this advice I got from one of my seniors as well. So he said, going for a job experience, so you won't ever deny your decision of going to a PhD, because you will be aware of what is going around in India in corporate. So you won't ever regret your decision of going for an higher studies. That is also an important factor to think about. Yeah,
Also, is it good to get a industrial LOR as well?
I guess no, because you will be working for around 7 to 6 months and with different managers. I have seen some cases. One of the senior, I don't remember his name exactly, got an LOR from director of something at Dr. Reddy's. Yeah. So maybe you can take an LOR any reputed person from that particular corporate. But I don't think you will be in touch with those persons while you will be joining your company. Uh, which company you are joining, Jayant?
Right now I'm doing the master's here at IIT.
Okay. So then I guess for you, the better option is don't join the corporate. You have already enrolled in the master program. Don't delay for the PhD.
Okay.
Okay. Because you don't want to get aged or around 30 and completing your PhD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harshit, I have a question. There are several domains in chemical engineering. In some of the domains, we got some experience, maybe via project, via courses or UGPs. Or maybe the best that we could get is okay, we have done a good project and published some paper, but at the very end, we don't want to continue certain stuffs, like it's
Yeah, I got your point. Yeah.
so how you decided which professors to approach? Like, what are the research interests that actually you like, maybe? So how you got to, basically how you differentiated?
So there are multiple research interests. Sorry, there is a boundary. Like for my case, the boundary was I won't work with polymers. I won't work with bioprocesses. Okay, that was my boundary. Okay,
Yeah.
so multiple research interests just went out for me.
Yeah,
Now I was left with fluid, thermodynamics, process systems engineering, energy systems. Fluid is a dead field. Okay, it has no scope. Thermodynamics is a dead field. It has no scope. Catalysis is a dead field. It has no scope. Okay. Now what is emerging and what is trending? Okay. Bio is trending. Polymers is trending. Soft matter rheology is trending. Systems engineering is trending. Okay. Catalysis integrated with nanosciences is trending. Okay. And it is not about ki you have worked for fluids in your 4 years in your undergraduate and it is compulsory for you to do a PhD in fluids. It is not compulsory at all. You can just trick the application. You can just trick the university in this. Okay. What you can do is there is if you got an experience in fluid, apply into that university saying you are interested in fluid, you will work in fluid field. Okay, just select the faculty who are working in fluids. When you are admitted and you go and you went to that university, it is not a compulsion to join that particular professor. Okay, you can switch over there, and I guess most of the people do that. Okay, and it is extremely safe to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Entering into that university with the help of the research experiences and then changing your gears when you are in that particular university, that is feasible and that will work.
Okay. I got it.
Hello, Harshit.
Yeah.
So could you elaborate, just like you said right now, that once you are accepted, you can change your
Yeah,
profession.
because there are lab tours. Okay, so there are lab tours.
Okay.
You go in each lab, you observe what the work is going on, what are the potential in each of the lab, and then you decide, and then you fill your then you fill your preferences of the professors.
Okay.
Okay.
So once we are selected, let's say you're
Yeah,
selected.
preference form will be floated to you, even if you have written any name of the professors in your SOP. Okay, if you have written A1, B1, C1 name of the professors in your SOP, you may join any professor except A1, B1, C1. किसी को बुरा नहीं लगता वहां पे, because not only you are admitted, 20 others are also admitted. Okay, so A1, B1, C1 को कोई ना कोई एक मिल जाएगा.
अच्छा. Okay, so and when do you go up in July, right? July, August, you go there.
August. Semester starts in September. Yeah.
Okay, so for about a month, you have time to adjust there and as well as apply for the preferences of professors,
Yeah.
lab visits and all.
Professor preference for that is a very end thing. You need to apply that in the December. After you get into a university, lab tours are there, spanning for 3 months, and then you have to fill the preference form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not strictly going into that university and straight away you are just filling the form. That is not the case. Even I guess there are some there will be some MTech students as well here in this particular meeting if there are. So same things happen in the MTech also. Lab tours are there, rotation is there, and then you need to fill out the faculty preferences. Same thing happens in the PhD. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other question? Any other question, please? I guess any other question with respect to anything? So I guess Raju, I guess there are no other question now. The session is up off for 1 hour. Maybe we can quit the session.
Yeah, so maybe you could share some resources to students.
Yeah, I'll share the resources to the convenience team. The rest is on you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Stay safe.
So thank you,
Yeah,
Harshit,
Shruti.
for this nice session. It was really nice, and it would
I hope
really
it was a nice session.
help us how those who are pursuing higher studies after BTech. So was very nice.
Yeah. So guys, if you have any question, in any aspect related to higher studies or in chemical engineering, you don't like it, you like it, any aspect or anything you need to ask, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Okay. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn if you need to ask any sort of questions. Okay. And I guess I am on LinkedIn, so you can find me. Just write the name Harshit Verma and I will